Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of RYBEAU Radio. Today I am joined with SFX genius Kris.
Hey Ryan. Hello world.
How are you today? How we doing? How we feeling?
I'm good, feeling fresh, feeling good, ready for the summer. I've just watched the latest episode, so I'm ready to get stuck in, get the
I
opinions
can't wait.
going.
I know it's gonna be so good. I love this episode. I feel like I've been waiting for episode 3 of this series just to experience the prosthetics over again and like to
Yeah.
see what they do because our challenge was so fun. And I was like really excited to see what they do this year. So what's your thoughts on like the challenges and like ghosts in general, like what they did and the avenue they went down? Because more realism this time than what we did.
Very, very different to what we did last year. Like ours was very, very much kind of like creature side of like SFX, but this is very much kind of like the
Realism.
gore, the grunge, the dirt down, which I love as well. Like I feel like we didn't really get a chance to like show that too much last year.
No.
Um, but the challenge has been sick this year. Like I haven't seen Ghosts, but like this challenge itself like seems really really fun. But then
Yeah.
like I mean, Bridgerton, Sephora, like it's been a big season so far.
Yeah, it's the guest judges for me. I mean, budget. And then also, I spoke to Adam last podcast, and it's just funny because obviously Adam wished that he had Sephora. And I feel like, you know what, I was happy with what we got for our episode 3, but I wish we had Bridgerton because I absolutely love period makeup. And we didn't get to show that. It was very, our season was very editorial, I feel.
Yeah, there was a lot of like beauty editorial stuff for our season, but
Like
um,
for us too, it wasn't given. Like we didn't want to do that. Like where was the big stuff? Like I feel like they casted us on such a weird series.
saying
Cause
that like Doctor Who was sick, like
that was the best thing of my life. Like I love that. It's so iconic. Um, so yeah, I'm glad we had Doctor Who over Ghosts though. Because I feel like realism's really hard to do. It's not easy. And they used Bondos as well. It wasn't silicone, was it? It was
yeah,
Bondos.
the transfers.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting because they can go either really well or really wrong. Like I've been in some dodgy situations with Bondos. It is not cute.
Yeah, they seem like temporary tattoos. Like they're either going to like come out perfectly, or you're going to get little patchy bits that's still stuck onto the paper. Like
Yeah, no.
one thing I couldn't get over though was like they get like the hour and a half to do like the dirty down in pairs versus us doing the one huge
Yeah.
in
But
two and a
like
half hours.
I'm so glad we didn't have pairs for that. Imagine if we had to do it in pairs. So I am excited to actually properly look at these pictures because I watched the episode, but I didn't really focus on like the looks too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like scrolling through. Now, who was your standouts then for this challenge? Like, who did you look at and think, oh my gosh, they slayed?
From the beginning, I thought that Axel and Kieran were like
Yeah.
going off to a really, really good start initially.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think they just had the flow. I think with teamwork and like when you're working with someone, like the energy just kind of flows or it doesn't. And I think if it doesn't, it makes the whole thing really, really difficult. So like if you get off with a good start with someone where like you're on the same page, you're kind of doing the same sort of thing,
Mhm.
you're gonna come out with a good outcome, I feel like. Whereas if that
Yeah.
so I thought they were really, really good. On the other hand, then I think you have like examples like Rue and Wesley, where like both really, really strong artists, but just kind of went in with like different, you know,
Perspectives.
yeah,
Because,
doing a different thing
yeah,
each, kind of like
yeah.
cross cross communicating with each other.
I feel like it's hard to work in a team. I feel like when you do work in a team, though, you have to kind of like set boundaries to see what and come up with an idea collectively. I feel like though, you follow a brief in a team, and there was a brief there, so I don't know how they ended up doing it so differently. But I suppose when you're an artist and you're there on glow up to be yourself, it is hard to then get in a teamwork mindset. It's hard,
Yeah,
isn't it? Because like they probably got told different things and got confused, or the brief said this and then they did this, and then it's just one of them. It is a TV show as well, you have to remember. So there could have
yeah,
been,
I can appreciate like the mindset that they went into with like, doing the hands first. They're like, okay, right, we can test out the things, see how it goes.
here we
It's
go.
not focus,
Mm.
but for that, they just spent so much time on something that wasn't the main focus, and then it's kind of, but
Would
it's
you
easily done. Like the hour and a half goes like that.
It's weird. Would you have done that in the hands first then? Well, how would you approach it? Because I feel like I'd have been brash, like I wouldn't blow up and just done something really like eccentric first and then flops.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think I would have done the hands first. I think if I wanted to get a practice run on something on somewhere that wasn't going to be really obvious, I would have done it maybe like on the neck or something.
Yeah, the neck
Somewhere
the neck.
somewhere that's still going to be in like one of the first things you see, but it's not going to be like right on display.
Yeah.
I definitely would have focused on the head first, because like hands, like although it's important to kind of like include them in the overall thing, you can whack dirt on a hand, dirty it down so quickly, just get some dirt under the fingernails. Like you can get it done in like
It is very that.
2 minutes of tops, like if you needed. Like, but I can't appreciate what they did, but it just, I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot with it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like you said, with blood and dirt, you can cover the hands up. Like I feel like with bondos and small prosthetics as well, like there's a lot you can hide with it, is in edges and stuff. Like if you're doing a really bloody look, it's like myself today with that rhino. Like I had some edges at the side that wasn't that bad, but full as earth was all over those edges. You do not know that prosthetic in there. Like there are ways around everything.
The moss.
Yeah, literally, it's like there are ways around everything. But no, so I feel like Axe and Kieran was definitely deserved win. I liked how they went about it as a team as well, to like go back and forth. So do you agree with the winners then? Definitely. Like, is that your winners?
Yeah, no, definitely. I thought they were the strongest from the outgo. Like, I think with stuff like this, it's so important to kind of like stop, keep checking in, look over the overall image, stop, keep checking in, and just have really, really clear communication. I think they had that from the outgo. Like, so
Yeah.
yeah.
The guest judge looked really fab as well. Like I've never seen Ghosts before, but it looks like a horrible histories like plot twist. I don't know. It looked really good.
I've seen like snippets of it, I think, like online, and on like reels and different stuff. It looks like, yeah, it's kind of like a spoof, like
Yeah, something
ghost.
camp. Yeah, if it's a camp program though, like you want it to be big and like bold, and because when Saf didn't put all the blood on, I was like, I would definitely put the blood on, but then I also think from a realism point of view, you probably wouldn't. So it's hard to find a balance of realism and then a camp, like this really bold, like sitcom. Like I understood why she didn't put the blood.
See, I would have been a bit reserved with the blood as well, but just for the fact that like, for the fact that they're like old and long time dead, like surely the blood would be dried out at that point.
There wouldn't be any blood, would there? Like realistically.
Yeah. Like
So
if
I
they're
get
rotted
that.
for like years and years, like it would have just been like, I would have been
Yeah.
more inclined to have black or like some like pus or something versus
This is
like blood.
it. So I recently did a dead body on a shoot and it was disgusting because I had to look at dead bodies all day in real ones on pictures. And I
Okay.
learned a lot about dead bodies that day. And I'm telling you now, they're like green, it's weird. They're like,
Oh my god, yeah. They don't look human whatsoever. Like they just like
no. And it was just picture this like really like it was so disgusting. And all I could see was like the ass of this person dead on the floor, like oh, and
what were you looking up?
it was the person I was working under. They were showing me all these pictures. I was like, this is disgusting. I was like, what do you want for dinner? Do you want a Subway? I was like, not really. Not now.
Yeah, just about to start painting the arse.
Literally, I was like, oh, come on. I was like, I hope they didn't send them when they was alive, them nudes. It's not going to frighten folk. But no, I thought it was like a really like comedic approach to death, which I liked. But then I also think it is confusing. So I do get Saf's mindset with that. And I'd have got confused as well. I feel like Saf knows what she's doing. So when you know what you're doing a little bit, I feel like there is a bit of a confusion. But yeah, no, I think overall, I'm happy with Kieran and Axel winning. And I wanted Axel to win that. Like I really wanted Axel to win that personally.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love what Axel's been like delivered so far. It's nice to see like them get, a win is something that they feel like they're strong suit,
Yeah. It was camp. I mean, your win was you did the ball cap for the masterclass, didn't you? You did that thing. Was it Amanda Knight you worked with?
Yeah.
Okie doke. So, how good is this creative brief? I wish we had this.
Oh my god, I was just thinking this is so up your street, so like it's your two like SFX and star signs, like astrology is like both your like.
Yeah, I cried
buzzword.
when I found out that. I mean, I liked our brief. Like, I'm glad we had what we had, but I wish they had that brief for a Not the Prosthetic challenge on our series. If you know what I mean? So we kept the monstrous mutations, but we did that as well. But what's your star sign? Are you you're a Scorpio rising, aren't you? We did this in the house. I remember in the house. I was like, what is that on star signs?
So what is it? It's sun, moon, rising, right?
But you're a Scorpio rising. I know that from looking at you now and how you dress. It's so obvious. But I can't remember your sun. I can't remember your sun.
I'm a Scorpio rising, a Virgo sun, and a Virgo moon.
Oh, double Virgo. Very grounded then. Not like me. I'm all water and air. I'm like fucking the fairies, me. As we know.
Water and air.
So what would you have done for this then?
So the brief, they didn't say that you had to do your star sign. So I was like, okay, would I do Virgo? Would I do something else? But then I thought I liked what Rue did, where she kind of like
Yes.
reverted back to like her star and her rising. So I think I would do something similar to that because like Virgo obviously is the virgin, blah blah blah, very pure. But then Scorpio is meant to be the most sexual sign in the
Yeah.
zodiac as well. So I think I would try and do something of the two contrasts of them and try and like match
Yeah.
something together.
I feel like Scorpios are always depicted really evil, but they're actually nicest vibe. I like a Scorpio. Jamie was a Scorpio, our welfare producer, and you would not
Oh
think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you'd be surprised. I mean, everyone was doing like these evil looks. So Scorpio was like, listen, we're actually really nice people.
They're nice. They're just like dark and mysterious, you know.
For mine, if I was to do it, I probably would do that because I'm a Scorpio, Cancer, and a Leo. But I did Leo kind of vibes for my master interview. So
Oh
maybe
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
done something like that. Or I would have incorporated like the scorpion and the crab and done some crustacean look. I don't know.
Shelly.
Yeah, something cool. Like I feel like Lisa did the crustacean and slayed that. So who knows what I'd have done. But yeah.
Very cool brief though. Very, very fun brief.
Yeah, I'm just gutted if we didn't get to do it. I might do a recreation of that brief at home. Like, do you know, like a star sign look?
Yeah, definitely, dude. That'd be really, really cool. Also, what did you think of Vanessa Davies as the guest judge?
Oh, no, a gag, no, a gag. But I didn't realize who it was at first. So when they said Vanessa, I was like, oh, who's that? Then I realized when I saw the face who it was. I literally
Yeah.
dropped to the floor and was like, I've been following her for so long.
For
Like I didn't
years.
realize.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I was dying whenever I seen her. I was like, I would absolutely like screamed as she walked through the door whenever we were
I feel
doing it.
like it's correct she's a judge as well. Because when I remember looking at her stuff and thinking, oh, she might be on Glow Up one day, but not as a guest, as like a contestant and then win it. But it's nice to see her like as a guest because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's cool.
Big time. I think it makes such a difference as well when the guest judges are people who are like used to being educators and actually like, you know, giving critique and giving advice and stuff. I know
Yeah.
that Vanessa does like master classes on like um makeup and SFX and prosthetics and stuff. And it was the same with even like Danny Marie when we had last year and like Hector. Like it makes such a big difference whenever you have
Yeah.
a judge that can give constructive criticism and can like actually.
Yeah, because we had a lot of, I mean, we had Ivy, who was the marketing team. Was she marketing? Which is
Yeah,
correct because obviously you need to, she knows what she's looking for. But I think it does make a difference with an actual makeup artist.
like for her for Doctor Who, like she was great. Again,
And
really,
yeah,
really
so
good constructive criticism.
yeah, but Danny is like, actually, I didn't realize how iconic Danny was until I like met her. You want to see a kit as
How
well.
was she to work with?
She's very organized in the best way. I didn't
You can
want to
tell that.
get her kit is immaculate. I remember going, can I just go to Cardiff? Because obviously, like, she's Welsh, and where we was filming was in Wales. And like, I got there, but I only had to bring my brushes anyway, but I just brought a bit of extra stuff just in case. So she opened up a kit, but it was her team. So it was in different rooms. It was literally like Doctor Who all over again. It's so weird. Everyone's all in different rooms with different people. So I was with Danny. She opened the kit and literally every single thing had a label, a place. There was nothing out of touch. Everyone's like there. Like it's just I'm very chaotic in the best way. I feel like I learned a lot of stuff. And she's so lovely as well. Like I remember being there and we did a ball cap. And I thought I knew how to do a ball cap until I saw Danny do a ball cap. And she used this tape on the back of the hair. It's
Oh.
I'll have to send you some tape. It's sick. In fact, like what they put on tattoos called oxide tape.
Oh,
Uh,
like on hair before the ball cap was on.
yeah, but like in different areas, so you can glue it on the skin instead of the hair, so it doesn't go all weird.
That's
And
again.
yeah, and it's so cool. And the way she wraps the hair is sick as well. Like everyone was just like just mint, but like she let us have a bit of this stuff. Like, oh, it was so good. But like she's one of them people who are like dead easy to be around when you're like a student, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like pressured. Like I was scared, obviously, because you get scared when you're working with people. But then
Yeah.
like I was dead chilled. But like I'm so jealous you got to work with Amanda Knight because I actually hate you because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I don't like you. I'm joking. Um, Amanda did Harry Potter. Now I know Harry Potter's controversial and we don't like TERFs, but growing up we didn't know that. And I grew up obsessed with Harry Potter. That was my thing. But I was very, very gutted that even if I didn't win the challenge, just to meet Amanda Knight, like
She was so cool. She was so lovely. Like, yeah, so welcoming, so kind of like nurturing. I remember like we were backstage, like on the production, like on set, kind of waiting to like jump in and do whatever best. And she was going through her phone and just like showing us like previous stuff that she'd done. She was like, "Oh yeah, here's the tattoos that we used in Gary Oldman for Snape, and like here's the teeth we used for
imagine.
Helena um oh my god, I was gonna say like just Stranja, Bellatrix Strange.
Not like Andres Chandra, that's hilarious.
Ganja. And then was like showing us like Dumbledore's beard and like Hagrid's beard, and I was like, oh my god, I literally
I
grew up.
remember when I first started makeup, she was on my mood board. Like her and Nick Dudman. Nick Dudman did the Goblins. And Amanda Knight did like the postiche and obviously the makeup and some prosthetics and stuff like that. So I was my eyes were on them. And then when I saw that you like won the challenge, obviously I was buzzing for you, like no evil eye. But I was like, I wish I just met her, like just to meet her. But she follows me though. She follows me. So it's not so it's not all lost. I could tell you the best experience. And I feel like she loved you being there as well because she posted so much about you. So you must
she was really sweet. Like it was so nice like getting to work with her. Yeah, and even like she's still really good for kind of like interacting and stuff like online. She's really lovely.
Oh, that's cute. I feel like get me in there. I'll cross your bushes, Kris. Just take me with you. Okie doke. So, speaking of looks, where are we at now? So, let's talk about the creative brief. Let's go into the creative briefs.
Gorge.
I feel like now I'm gonna say, like I said this before my guests on the podcast, like the first ones I think it was very like I didn't think I have a lot to say the first few creative briefs. I feel like now I'm gonna get into the nitty-gritty a little bit more because it is become more of a competition. I feel now it's not just who they are now; it's a competition for me. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and you need to kind of get a taste for like what everyone delivers and stuff before you can really jump in what they do.
Yeah, and I feel like now I kind of know everyone's vibe and what to expect from them. So now I'm a bit more like nitpicky. But like just a disclaimer, like I literally flopped about 3 challenges in the red chair about 6 times. So don't worry, guys, it's not personal. But okie doke. So let's start with Tayshia's look. Now I think she did Pisces. I mean, she must have done Pisces because it's a very Piscean look. If I'm trying to remind you, it's this one.
Oh yeah. Let me pull it up my thing here.
I've got Twilight on in the background in the room. All I can hear is Bella's Lullaby playing, and it's quite. All I can hear that is the back.
Gorge. Okay, fab.
Okay, do you want to go first then? Tell us your opinions on Tayshia's look for the horoscope.
So from looking at the image immediately, I think the painting is cool. I think the prosthetics in the neck are really cool, but
yeah,
I did not notice them at all when I first seen it. Like they kind of like
fell
into the background a little bit for me, which is unfortunate. I think the painting is cool, but I think I don't know, for a prosthetics challenge, I feel like stick prosthetics right in the main focus of the face, like, you know, like really and integrate them into like the main focus of the makeup. Like I think the painting is great, but I would just want to see some more prosthetics like in the actual face. I want to like I'd love to see a character or something and not just like a painting on the face. You get me?
Yeah, I agree, right? So I have like a very mixed opinion on this. As a makeup, regardless of prosthetics week, as a makeup, one of my favorites of the week. That is actually my favorite makeup of the week in terms of makeup. Prosthetic wise, it could have been done more cleverly. Where Val commented on the being like the bottom of the ocean. You've got the shoulders there. Take off that top, put the prosthetics on the shoulders, create some texture with these.
Yeah.
Or like make it be the bottom of the ocean, and then like maybe put like bits of these like crustacean-y bits or like these like coral bits in the face, and like you could have done the painting, just add more. But
even just bring the painting like down onto the shoulders as well. Like I hate seeing like just a solid stop of like color.
Yeah, I agree. I always like a full look. I feel like Tayshia's look so far, I think I loved the first one, if I can remember correctly. The second one I wasn't so keen on, and this one now, I feel like I'm starting to see Tayshia's vibe. and she should be a painter. Like I feel like she needs to go into painting as well, other than faces,
Yeah, the
because
paint's beautiful.
like the way it's been painted is like a picture. Like I said, this is one of the best makeups in the room for me. It's just like you said, for a prosthetics challenge, you could have even had ears or just add something just to make
Yeah,
it
like
different.
go for it, like really go ham on it. Like,
Yeah, she has held back a little bit, but it's not a character. I feel like they wanted a character, and that's not really a character to me. That's a
yeah,
paint.
I think that's what's missing for me. It's like bring the horoscope alive. I think
Personify it. Like if them fish could talk, what would they do? If it was in a film, how would they look? But again, my favorite makeup she's done so far in the competition, my favorite makeup in the room, but not hit the brief for me. So we'll agree on that then. Okie doke. Next up, we have Saf, which is this one, can you reminding?
yeah.
Now I recognize that nose from somewhere.
It's familiar.
I feel like, well, I'll let you go first.
I think this is breathtaking. I think this is absolutely beautiful. Like this is what I mean by like a character, a personification. Like this is like I feel the star sign and like the horoscope has been had life breathed into it, and like even like down to like the paint job looks celestial. Like
Yes.
um the little like gem sunlight coming through the forehead, like the animalistic. It looks like it's one of the characters of the star sign. Like I think this is stunning. I get what like Vanessa said about like the ears were slightly costly. I didn't notice that. I don't notice it initially just from looking at her face on, but it would have, especially since she only has the one prosthetic on, right?
Do you want me to give my opinions now on
Yeah,
that?
go.
From that, okay. So I won't cut you off, just switch to check. When you have a brow piece and it's contoured and it's to frown, my pet peeve in makeup, and I've done this before, is to then draw the lines in the piece because you've took away the eye. They might as well just not put a prosthetic on there
You
because you
could have
just
just shouted it on.
it just looks like it's drawn on. I mean, you can tell like in the like the forefront of the brow a little bit, but I just feel like maybe use like a really deep purple and contour it rather than a straight black line up into this detailing because it does take away from the brow piece. Then again, it's like that's the only thing I would say. And also, I feel like with a centaur, I would like some long flowing hair over the ears. So you can't see where the ears join the actual ears because it's not an actual. I feel like it's not a silicone piece or a foam latex or even.
I think they're just slide
Ah,
on. Like, yeah,
I
they're
mean,
just
that's
bad.
not a prosthetic. That's not a prosthetic for me. Not to be a bitch, but it feels to me that's not a prosthetic in terms of
I
like,
would have rather left off the brow piece, just shatter that on, and then have done ear prosthetics like Vanessa said.
yeah. But other than that, like this look for me
Saying that, yeah, it's still phenomenal. Like
is insane. Like the coloring, this speckledness on the side,
the
it just
coloring is
yeah.
beautiful.
And this, like you said, like the star in the middle just brings, and it's so symmetrical, so in the middle, and it comes down. It's almost like tribal. Yeah, like this is like a 10 for me. I feel like it's just well, like I said, like a 9.5. If it had like the ears changed and not the black lines, it would have been a 10.
This, I think, is my favorite from the week. I think this has been like stunning.
Do you think is it your favorite? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, from this week, I think this was the real standout for me.
I feel like Saf altogether is just the real standout for me, to be honest.
Powerhouse so far.
Oh, she's insane. It's giving me like winner vibes, to be honest.
Yeah,
Oh, go on, sorry.
I like. I'm seeing a lot. She seems to be giving me like a lot of similar. Like her style of work seems to be very kind of Lisa vibes from
Yeah,
last year as
Lisa.
well. The coloring, even like the kind of like I don't know style, like the creature creation and stuff, all kind of seems very like I can see the parallels to the two, and both incredible artists, but like yeah, amazing. Like
Different artists, well, like different people, but same, similar. I feel like pink hair, both from Essex.
similar styles.
Yeah, similar styles of
Yeah,
makeup.
even the hair.
And Essex. I mean, they do like to cast, don't they? A certain way. I say it every time on the podcast. They always like you can just we could sit here all day and talk about like I see myself in Kieran quite a bit. I think you're quite Axel vibes. We could sit here all day. So next up we have Axel. Now, what's your opinion on this? Because wow.
I really like this one. I feel like this one, I like like Saffron, I feel like this one you can really see the character in it, but this one I feel like you can really see the concept in it as well.
Yeah.
Where he said that he really wanted to bring out like the warrior aspect. Like you can,
Yeah.
it feels very much like tribal warrior paint on an already fantasy
Yeah.
creature. So like you've got the double layering of like war paint on character paint, which I think is really, really cool.
I agree. The scorpion piece for me at the top, that is so intelligent. I wonder where they got that from because I want two of those and I'm gonna slap it on my cheeks.
One thing I'm not down about, I wish that like I'm not down about the lips. I feel like the one like half tone top lip
I
and
feel
like
like it needs like some black paint and just go like that down the middle.
yeah, it needs the same kind of paint on the bottom. It needs something to kind of balance it out because like I think currently it just looks like he's got a bit like foundation lips and like stop on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's giving my lips in year eight. It's
Even
like
just like filled out like fully black, like just something. And also I wish it was brought down onto the shoulders again slightly more, just to really, really like
yeah.
flash it out.
I mean, I like the way that Axel has done the skin. I like this sort of. I feel like Axel's work. I look on Instagram and like the Master Interview and their just other work. They like to do this sort of like effect on the skin. It kind of comes across. It's like Axel's. What's the word? Like stamp on a look.
Signature.
Yeah, and I like it, like the veining and like this, but it's like this kind of like patchwork. It's so
I
cool.
love the patching on it. Yeah, I think it really makes it believable the fact that it's like not
It worked.
completely
Yeah,
like symmetrical and that there's like variation. It's like blemishing, like that you would get in normal skin, like
exactly. But in the most glamorous, weird way. And I like
Yeah.
the contrast of the colors, are very juxtaposed, warm and cool. And I feel like I'll tell you a fact about Scorpio. So Scorpios are ruled by two planets, which is Mars and Pluto. So Pluto is furthest away from the sun. Mars is one of the closest to the sun. So there's very polarized energies to Scorpio. So the fact that Axel has taken this really hot Mars energy, which is ruled by Aries as well, which is fire, and this Pluto energy, which is water and very like icy in a way, and combined it into a look to create this zodiac sign is very intelligent. I don't know if it was meant to be like that, but I think it's very intelligent if that is what Axel was meant to do. That's all I've got to say on
And
that.
it's a lesson for all the boys and girls in the class. No, it's very, very good. Like very, very well thought out.
Yeah, and again with the ears, I recognize those ears. I feel like they must have the same prosthetics from last year. Like you only get a certain list, don't you? Things you can
It's
use.
all just tilt makeup, like it's all the content to tilt.
I think them ones are from Monster Effects, the ears and the nose, but I feel like everything else is tilt or is
I have
from...
never seen that head prosthetic.
No, I want to know where that's from because I want that. That's insane.
No.
If it's like a buyable one, if it's not Axel's own. But it's a good way of hiding a ball cap, putting a prosthetic there. I've done that before where you put a prosthetic in front of the ball cap edges so you can't see it because the silicone covers it.
Yeah.
Very intelligent. But overall, I like the black in the waterline, I like the skin, I like the ears, I like the
I
contrast.
love the red. I love the little pop of red, especially for Scorpio.
It's giving what it needs to give. So yeah, it's a 10 for me. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say I give it about an 8.5.
Okay.
It's just missing a little bit down here in the lip for me.
The lip, yeah. I suppose like the market a little bit. But other than that, I can't complain. Okie doke. So Kieran is next up. So Kieran is doing Cancer, the crab. So what's your opinions on that?
I think this is really cool. I think it's really, really cleverly done. Yeah, I love that they covered up the eyes. I will say, like, whenever he was like covering up the eyes, the little two cotton pads over the eyes, it just gave me throwbacks. Do you know whenever Young Chin was doing her practice run on Me in the House?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That was the funniest thing. I've still got videos of you. I never posted them. And we're like, how many fingers, Kris? And then you kept saying something that was dead funny. I'm just a little fuckworm. That's what you kept saying.
Worm.
It was so funny.
I'll give him major throwbacks. But no, I think this is really, really cool. Like, I love what is it that they used for the pincers?
Ears. So the ears that I use for my toxic waste rat is what they've used for, but they put it on the lips, like them cheeks.
Really, really smart. Yeah, really, really cool. Yeah, I love the paint job as well. Like, it looks really, really like it looks like a crustacean. I love the fact that they brought it all down onto the torso, like everything. The only thing for me is like I think the eyes look a little bit funny. It kind of looks like he just painted on like sad smiley faces.
So I'll explain that to you. So I think Kieran's done this on purpose. So what Kieran said, it's meant to be the moon. So the moon rules Cancer. So every star sign has a planet that rules it. So Scorpio, as we said, was Mars and Pluto. Cancer is the moon. So I feel like he's tried to do the moon like a crescent shape, and then the moon, full moon in the eyes, like a man in the moon type thing. Did it work? Not really, I don't think. But it's still clever. It's very clever.
It's cool. I like the thought with it. I think I'm like a stiller for this as well, kind of like getting very wrapped up in like concept and layering ideas and stuff. And like I like the idea of it, but I think we had just done like either like no eyes could have been really cool, or just kind of left it as like two kind of like black hollows. I think it would be really strong. But saying that, I think it still looks amazing. Like,
yeah, I wish there was, because like I feel like they've done the constellation on the head there, and then use like some sort of gems to outline.
oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. That's really cool.
Well, I wish instead of doing that and putting the moons on the eyes, they just put like a moon on the head, like a half moon, maybe like a symbol, and then like done something to it. But
I really like the constellation, but I wish that they had like integrated it in, like it was a part of like the like, because you know the way that, like crustaceans have kind of like the layering of like different like shell pieces and stuff. Like if it were actually like carved into it, or if it were kind of like embedded into it, I think it would have been really cool.
I will say this is extremely intelligent. This is one of my favorite looks. Other than the moon eyes, I think this is extremely intelligent, very clever. The ears on the cheeks, kiss. The skin's a tip. The line in the middle of the lip, it's symmetrical, it has balance to it. The ball cat's well done. I'm very surprised. Like when I saw Kieran's Instagram, it was stunning and gorgeous and flawless, and it was giving like beauty and glam. I was not expecting this. And it's very, and I will hands up say I judged too soon. Like I'm that person, if I don't see something on Instagram, I'm like, oh no, well, they can't do special effects or ball caps because they only do makeup. And it's so wrong. It's so, I need to get that out of my head. And I feel like Kieran's smashing it, like smashing it.
Yeah, I'm really, really liking their work so far. Even their thing last week I thought was fab. Like the monochrome with the pop of yellow, I thought was really, really chic, super editorial.
Yeah, one of my favorite looks of the week, actually, that one. But I feel like Kieran's work is, it has a style as well. I feel like Kieran likes to do this stippling at the moment, because we saw it last week and we've seen it this week. But it works, if you know what I mean. It works.
Yeah,
and I think Kieran's just, I know Kieran's a clever person from this, like intelligent. And the only thing I would say, I wish there was just something, like I feel like maybe if they could access, I don't know if they had the budget for it, but maybe on ears again, but at the top. So it's like 4. Does that make sense? So it's like, I don't know, just to give it more balance. So there's something at the top. I feel like the top, something's missing at the top. It's quite heavy.
I don't mind the top. I kind of like the smoothness in the top, because like a crab, everything is kind of like curved down and all kind of directed towards the bottom. I wish, if anything, I wish the pincers were slightly more interned, like it's like kind of coming into the mouth rather than like downwards. You get me? But no, like I like, for me, it's just like the little like sad moons. I think everything else is like stellar.
Yeah, everything else for me is amazing. I absolutely love this look. Even what Lisa did for the ball cap on our season, that'd have been really cool for this look, but it's already been done. So it's like, where to draw the line? And I think everything needs to be so extreme as well. Sometimes there is beauty in just having simplicity in the top and then something extreme at the bottom. Like it's balanced.
Yeah, I think it shows confidence to be able to like pull back some time and just be like, no, this is it. This is strong enough. Because I think even like just the paint job alone for this is like enough to carry. I think like just like everything else is like great.
And I like the thing I love about Kieran as well, like he does a full look. Like their looks are full. There's something in the waterline, there's something on the chest, there's something on the shoulders, there's a lip.
Well, there is no waterline.
Well, that's what there's there's moon lines. Every
silver
lining. But no, I just love how Kieran. Do you know what else? When I went to Kieran for a long time, but Kieran's kind of done. I'll show you here now. See, there's like an orange line on the head, like almost like stripes a little bit.
Yeah.
I wish they was more defined and it was more like orange lines coming like that, and then the speckles of white.
Kind of contoured in a little bit more.
It looked like water droplets then, maybe yeah, more contour. But again, this is really picky. Like I'm just being really ridiculously picky right now. This is amazing. This is one of my favorite looks again. Like
yeah, stop. Really, really good.
Okie doke. So next up we have Wes. So what's your opinions on Wes's prosthetic? Why did they call it prosthesis then? What was that all about?
Prosthesis. I think the prostheses are really, really strong in it. Like, I think for the fact that he made it himself as well is like
Really?
amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of an example. It's like, and I'm someone that is like so guilty of this as well. Like, I was always throwing everything at the wall. I think it could have taken away two or three of the pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
This thing that's coming down in front of the hair.
That. Get rid of
Is
that.
it meant to be like a anglerfish sort of thing?
I think it would have been nice just without the little chilies on it. Like, is it a chili? What? Those like the little chilies.
Yeah, they look like little like chili pieces, don't they? Like, I think it's meant to be like going for like an anglerfish sort of thing with the kind of pincer coming down. And the teeth, I like. I think if he'd done the teeth maybe coming from the bottom up underneath the lip, it would look a little bit more fishy.
They just don't work for me. I feel like this look as a whole, I really love it. Like as an image, it's striking. The ears just make it. It really frames it. I love the color palette. I love the fact that he's made the prosthetics himself is insane. The brow is beautiful. It's well sculpted. The cheekbones are well sculpted. I'd buy and wear them. The ears are a bit obnoxious, but I do like them again. The only thing I don't like is the hanging chilies on the head and the teeth. But then the bushes on the neck as well. But I appreciate that there's something in the waterline. There's something that brings it all together. It's very cohesive.
One thing that's a bit of a pet peeve for me all the time as well is whenever someone has like loads of like animal or like creature specific like prosthetics and then just human hair. Like, you know, I wish like either like slick it back or like
it's like for my rat, I just tried to do something that wasn't a bald cap. Like just
that
it
yeah,
was
for that creature, like, you know.
Yeah, I did try to tease it up a bit.
Especially for the fact that it's a fish, like, you know, at least wet it or something, like, you know.
Like slick it back or like put black paint into it or something, or like powder the blue into it. It just needs, I feel like Wes is, I can see what Wes is doing. Wes is thinking, I need to do a big look to get a safe this week. I'm going to throw everything at it. But instead of just throwing everything at it, I think, like you said, pare it back a little bit and focus more on the details and creating a more of like a fluid look rather than water. Just like a fluid look. It's very like just here and it's very woof, but nothing else anywhere else. It just lacks a bit of balance. That's it. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, but I mean, I was so guilty for that as well. I was like just trying to like do the most.
That was a year ago. What was a year ago? Like, you've grown now.
But that's the thing. When you're in that situation and you just want to like show your best every single time, you're like, okay, I need to do more and more and more and more. And like in hindsight,
I don't agree, actually. I don't think you did too much at all. I think you had a nice balance. You know what I mean? As in overdoing it. I don't think you overdid it ever.
Yeah.
But I feel like your looks were perfect. I feel like my favorite one you did was the chameleon, the tubing. I liked your final finale dragon. There was and your tree. When I got sent home, you did the tree. Like, they're all balanced really well. Like, I remember them. Like, it just takes a lot for me to remember the makeups. So I don't think you overdid it at all. I don't put No, I think your looks were very well balanced. Big and bold, and I'm very obnoxiously done in terms of like, wow, like Kris is here to win. But other than that, like, I wouldn't say it's like this look where it's got too like this. It just needs to get rid of this chili thing.
I think the chili vine is like, I think it's just in the way. It's in the way. It doesn't need it.
If that was gone and there was blue on the neck and some blue in the hair, or the hair was slicked back, it would have been unreal.
I think if he just had the hair slicked back and had a little bit of blue in the hair and just had everything else, maybe flip the teeth or get rid of the teeth. I don't think you need the teeth. I think that would have been stellar.
Instead of the purple glitter, maybe use, like, you know, pigment from like Peaches and Cream do a pigment called Mermaids. And it's like a blue reflective pigment rather than a glitter. And what pigments do, obviously, you'll know. It's not saying it like you don't know, because you do. But like, they'll melt into the makeup and it just gives a flicker of light. And it's like a highlighter with color and glitter at the same time. This
Yeah.
looks too chunky. It's giving festival. It needs to be more
Even the
ethereal.
Mayron metallic powder, like brush a little bit of that over it, and it would have given it that kind of like, you know, the way scales have that metallic kind of like
I
sheen to it.
mean, I feel like Wes tried to do something and maybe use the wrong material with that. But then again, like as a look, as a whole image and effort and work ethic and everything that's been put into this, it's a 10 in terms of that. But it's
Yeah.
just little details that just need to be changed. That's it.
Yeah. Still very strong though, saying that, like, still did a lot of work in that look, like, so I think they did really good for doing that, and like the
Yeah.
amount of time as well.
And the
Yeah,
prosthetics they've made themselves, we need to like give a round of applause for that because then prosthetics seamlessly blended in and
yeah, brilliantly.
yeah. Okie doke. So next up we have, oh my gosh, I'm actually really excited to critique this because I loved it. Rue.
This is cool.
This is
This is really cool.
wow.
This is really unique. This like it's like
I've never
this
seen this.
structure with the thing. Yeah, I haven't seen that before. This is really, really cool.
Yeah. This, the only thing that winds me up about it is that the horns are uneven, but I had uneven stuff in my looks. I'm not here to say I'm king of symmetry because I'm not.
The asymmetry of the horns do kind of like jump out at me a little bit as well. I don't even think they needed the top horns.
If you're gonna do the horns, because of the back, like I wish there was just a bit, maybe like underneath that brow, just somewhere else. That's it.
If they had done similar to like the pincers down here and kind of had it coming from underneath the prosthetic, if they had that come upwards from underneath that brow piece, I think it would have like, because it would have mirrored it then. I think these two little like kind of chunk things, they look a little bit like Christmas decorations.
I feel like with this as well. Well, obviously, Rue's made their own prosthetics, which is insane.
Which is incredible. Like these are
But
so
silicone. Is it silicone? Is it running silicone? Because it looks like silicone. It doesn't look
like it.
latex or anything like that. It looks like silicone.
Yeah, it looks like it's silicone. I think the pincers might be what's it called? Polymorph plastic.
Polymorph or resin.
Yeah. But like this is phenomenal. Like those prosthetics are seamless for being like homemade.
What is it though? Do you when your season? Oh, sorry, in our season, did you use latex? Didn't you? Did you do latex?
I use latex for everything except the final one. I figured out finally how to make like latex or silicone prosthetics with cat plastic.
You asked me, didn't you, how to run it in silicone? But it was so I didn't know why because because the molds that you made. I need to ask you this actually because the way I've been taught is weird. Like I feel like when I speak to people who do it differently to me, do you know what I mean? Like and like loads of people, but like the way you made prosthetics, like yourself, did you do like you and your face cast? Did you do a mother mold and then do a face cast from the mother mold, or did you just do a life cast and then use the plaster cast from the life cast? That makes sense.
I brought in my life cast that I had, worked on top of that, and then I would.
The live cast, is it so when you made the live cast? This is the only question I've got is the cast of your face. Did you then put a plaster on top inside that?
So I had alginate plaster.
Plaster bandages, yeah.
Yeah. And then took it off that and I poured it just into the alginate then.
And use that to sculpt on.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's my question because I've only ever done it where I've done that and I've clayed it up and done a mother mold and then done a fiberglass mold out of that. So I've never like tried to sculpt on plaster. So I need to ask some advice on sculpting plastic because it's so much cheaper to do. Because budget.
I just varnished over the top then, so there was a layer.
Is that how you do it then? Because it's too wet. I think like it's quite chippy. So like I always wonder how you do it. Right? Okay, that's bam, bam. And then also, did you do when you made the molds every week? You sculpted on top. Did you then pour plaster on top of it? Because you were doing it at 4 a.m. I was in bed. Like
yeah, on my legs every day. Like,
did you make like a mold, like what, like clay with like walls, and then pour the plaster over the sculpt, and then like do like a dump mold or a squish mold?
Yeah, so like I would sculpt with clay, and then I would like build up the outsides with like a clay wall, pour in plaster, remove that, clean it out, and then I would just like.
Oh my gosh, Kris, how did you do that every week? I only realized because I've only done like since leaving Glow Up, I also went to uni to do prosthetics, but I didn't do my mold making module till I got back. So now I do mold making all the time to make the prosthetics. I was
just guessing. Like I was guessing all the time, like trial and error.
Molds, what clay did you use? Chipon clay? What clay did you use? Monster clay, Chipon clay, just whatever clay you had. Like what clay?
It was like a reinforced. It wasn't. I don't think it was chiffon clay. It wasn't that expensive. It was just like a reinforced sculpting clay.
And then what did you use to clean out White Spirit?
What did I use? I think I just used a toothbrush and water.
You're insane. You are insane. I
But,
only realize
but
I sit there and think you stayed up all that time. You had this one sculpt, and yours was like good though. It weren't even shit. It was actually good. Like if I had to do
but
2 days.
this is why my prosthetics all look so like bumpy and uneven. Like it wasn't until like the very last one that I started doing it. I did my last one with as a silicone mold rather than clay, and then casted it in silicone as well, and like sprayed in like the cat plastics so that I actually had flashing. And like you could see the quality difference. Like the difference is like night and day.
So, did you do A, B, and Deadner, or did you just do A and B?
A, B, and Deadner.
How much deaden it by? Because I always do mine by 90% unless it's ears, and I do it at 30 ears.
I think I did them 1-1-1.
Or like 1-1-1 ratio.
Yeah.
Isn't it like 50% then? So that would still like be enough to stretch it. I just want to know. I'm really interested. Now I know how to make prosthetics. I want to know how you did it on the show because it baffles me that you did that in that time. Like I can't comprehend it.
It kept it like a good density. It kind of kept it like a flesh kind of consistency. It might have been like a little bit softer, but that just meant that you can kind of stretch it out then. But like it's sat nicely then. Like
I didn't mind by like 90, so 50 is like great. But yeah, finishing up on RYBEAU's prosthetics. The fans loved this bull ring nose. I love the piercings, very avant-garde, very edgy. The colour's beautiful. Tick, tick, tick. I surprised it's wrong.
The only thing is I wish that she had maybe like darkened up the eyes a little bit. I mean, like add like maybe like a bit more shadow in the inside and like waterline maybe.
I would have contoured underneath the brow bone and then put like a shimmer there. So where the brow goes up, I'd put a shimmer there so it catches the light underneath a little bit, but it's like dark, very like David Bowie vibes with the, because RYBEAU gives me very David Bowie vibes anyway. So when I see this makeup, I feel like it gives me David Bowie, like if David Bowie was an alien. And I feel like it looks like David Bowie in Labyrinth with the brow upturned like that. So maybe we can do like a bit of a pigment there just to make it more ethereal. I don't know.
Yeah, but I know that RYBEAU was one of the ones that was kind of like struggling a little bit with time like at one point, so like for that like it still looks incredible for like the amount that they managed to pull out towards the end, because like that was a lot of aesthetics to take down. Like
very that. Okay, so I'll move on. So next up we have On May. So this look, I feel like obviously they didn't finish. They had a bit of a panic attack moment, which we all understand.
Bless them.
Yeah, like it is very high pressure. It wasn't finished. I love the prosthetic nose. I love the colors. It's very Taurus energy, very pinky girly Taurus energy.
Colors are gorgeous. I love the lightning bolt going through it as well.
Yeah, I feel like if it was finished, it would have been a 10, but I just feel like because it wasn't finished, that's why it didn't look as good as it could have done. I feel like there was potential with this.
Yeah, no, definitely there's potential. I think the colors are beautiful in it, and the like that purple against the pink against the white, I think is really, really strong. It's unfortunate, like the nose prosthetic, I know that she had a little bit of trouble trying to get it stuck down. I don't know if she needed the cheek prosthetics, or maybe
I like them because it gives the flow, and I feel the way she's done the coloring is very flowy, like. But maybe the nose was just too big. Maybe it was just too big.
I think that could have been a problem. It could have been like, because that looks like quite a big nose piece as well. It looks like a lot of time with nose pieces there tends to be like a fold somewhere that you can kind of like nip in one part, and like this looks like one solid piece. Like
it needs, for a Taurus, it needs a bull ring or some horns. If it had horns, like all this needs is some horns and a bull ring, and it's tick.
That's one thing that like is that I don't know as well. It's like I have no idea what sign this meant to be like. None.
Yeah, I mean, the nose does give it away from it, but if it had horns,
yeah, or like you said, like a bull ring. I think even just like putting the ring here would have been really cool. It would have made it look like quite ethereal.
Yeah.
But you know, like she did have a rough time with timing and the panic attack and everything else. So like fair play for still like managing to like pull it out. Like
okay, so next up we have Sarah. Now I actually saw Sarah in Manchester the other day, and I was like, "Oh, are you excited for the next episode?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh no." So obviously very sad to see Sarah go. But first of all, I'd just like to say this look isn't as bad as I felt like I thought it was going to be, because it's a very flat look. It's not very much. I wish there was more like shading. If you agree, it just needs, and like again, the latex horns. I just want a recreation of my rhino look, because I got given these horrible horns as well, and they're just.
Oh, is this your rhino horn?
I think so, yeah. And it looked like they just like they go to the side. That's why mine was like. I wish I had the knowledge that I had today on Glow Up, but It's just the fire's gorgeous at the bottom. I love the fire at the bottom. I like these ram horns. I like how the hair goes into the look. There's the latex horns. There needs to be some like white under the eyes, like a yellow to bring it like a contour. If it was all contoured, it'd look cute. What do you think?
I just wish that it was a different color. I think when you do these kind of double horns and then go with a red, it instantly starts going into kind of costumey. And like it's like Vanessa said, it starts to look a little bit Halloweeny. Like I get that it's like it's is it Aries or Taurus or
Aries is the ram, the fire. It's a fire sign. So I just wish
this
it
is
was.
the thing. Like if she had the horns over the top that she was going to add in at the end, I don't think she needed to do like the double layer. Like
Oh,
I
it
would have
needs
rather
a brow piece. Like, oh, like if you want to do
yeah, or
something.
like a nose piece or something. Like I think would have been
Well,
cool. Like
Aries are known for like the Aries is ruled by the head. So if you're gonna look into astrology and you're gonna research it, maybe do like a cowl or like something like a really big forehead piece or something that makes the brow bone look really strong. Because that's what the Aries is known for, being a really like being a leader and the big strong forehead, and it just
yeah,
needs
like
that.
the face just looks too human in
Yeah,
relation to everything else. It needs something to bring it to like a different dimension, to like a different like reality.
I like
And
the look.
I'm never a fan of like just like fire something like painted
Uh,
on.
no, it
Like
wasn't. Let's be honest, it wasn't a good. It was a bit of a flop, but the lip is nice. I like the lip.
saying that, those flames look beautiful. They're really, really well
Yeah,
painted. Like
yeah, I love the flames and I love the lip and I like the horns, but the not the devil horns, the ram horns, which is what Aries is. It just needs more, like what you said. It's very costumey and it just needs more dimension. It's very
even
flat.
like a deeper like smoky eye or something, like just go really, really like smoldering in the eyes,
Bring
I
the
think.
fire like a fire graphic liner or something, or just if you're going to go for that beauty route, then do something like that. Block the eyebrows out. That's my key in a makeup look for anyone listening. If you block the eyebrows out, you're on a winner already because there's no human feature there. It's gone.
Exactly. My two things are always either take away the brow or take away the hair, and then it instantly takes it around away from human.
Yeah, something needs to be. Yeah, yeah, basically. But it just misses something for me. But I feel like A for effort because in terms of like a concept with the horns and like the fight, it's very well thought out. I just think it wasn't well executed. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so who was in the face off now? Who was in the face? Who was in the red chairs and who was in the face off? Why don't I should know this is my podcast, but here I am.
Oh, so the red chairs, Rue and Wesley.
Who was? So Room wears beat seat. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that like very well deserved. Like both of them put in like a lot of work into those looks, and I think they both look like great. So very well deserved. Like
And I'm sad that Ome got in the face off. I mean, with Sarah, I was expecting it, but I feel like Ome, I feel gutted because it's not really her fault. Like, obviously, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of them things in it. And I feel like in this competition, it's brutal. Like, you have to be like, you can't panic, and it's hard. It's easier said than done. So I was gutted to see her, and I'm glad she stayed. I was obviously gutted to see Sarah go because obviously I felt a Manchester girl. I didn't want her to go so soon. But yeah, what was your thoughts on the face off then? Like, what was going through your mind?
interesting challenge. This is very similar to like what you had to do in your face off was like the stone placement.
Obviously, I had PTSD watching the whole thing.
Christ, like um what do you call it? Those like I always find with those like gem placements though, it's one of those things that like I think when you approach you're like, oh, this is gonna be grand, but then like once you actually get into it, like I think if you start off wrong, then like you need to have a method and a system of like
Yeah, if you see me in my face off, you see tears in my eyes because I just think I'm going home. Like, it's not happening. Give me a red light. Why have you given me this? I wanted a
yeah,
break.
like what are these crystal brows?
I know, like, but I thought, like, if they wanted me to stay, they'd give me like a bruise or an SFX cut. Because in that booklet we had, it had an SFX bit in it.
Oh, that booklet like needs to go out the window.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they might like sway it to SFX and I might stay. But then Rachel won about 16 challenges at the time, so but no, the challenge this episode, this series, did bring back a lot of memories. And I just feel like it's a very demanding task.
Big time. I think it's one of those ones that like you before you jump into it, I think you need to take a step back and just think your method for like a minute or so and to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I need to count this, blah blah blah. But saying that when you're in this like such a high pressure situation, like and you know you're on a time constraint, you just jump in immediately and you don't really think, you just start acting. And I think like realistically it could have been either because like both girls had like one had one too many, one had one less, but yeah, it's a tough one. Like,
It is. And Sarah going home.
I was like sad to see Sarah go home. Like, she's
Was you
like,
expecting? Because I wasn't expecting to go home so soon when I saw the
no,
cast. I thought she'd get to like really far.
yeah, no, I thought her first look was really cool. Like, what did she do last week?
The birds, and it was a Manchester Bee, and it was sick. The Manchester Bee was
I
my
really liked that. I thought that was really, really
favorite.
cool.
That
Yeah,
was
I thought it was really, really strong. Like the green kind of like haunter, and I thought was like beautiful in it. So like I was really surprised to see her go this week. I do agree that like I think she was
mm-hmm.
one of the weaker ones for the creative, but yeah, like such a bubbly personality, like such
Fun,
like
joyous, a lovely aura, very bright, and
also beautiful girl. I was thinking this from episode one. Like she's absolutely stunning.
the
Like
dress she wore for the creative brief, I was gagged. Jaw on the floor. I was like, come on, J Lo.
yeah, no, no. So like sad to see her go, but like also glad to still see more of On May. But I know, I mean, it really could have been either one. Like from that face off, like it was really like very tight.
So that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Kris, for joining me today. Where can the audience find you?
Thanks for having me, Ryan. You can all follow me on my Instagram, which is kris.cannon.fx. That's Kris, Kris. Yeah, and yeah, you'll see me
Anywhere
there.
else? TikTok? Are we doing TikTok? You doing TikTok?
I am trying to do the TikTok to keep up with the kids, but you'll see me more active on Insta. Put it like that.
You can find me at RYBEAU Effects as always, and you can find Sarah, who went home this week, at Modern Wand on Instagram as well. So make sure you follow them us all and keep up to date with the Globe crew. So I'm excited to see more of your work, Kris, and to see more of your opinions. Keep in touch. Tell us all the gossip each week of what you think. Don't.
Will do, girl. Keep y'all informed.
Oh, lovely. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ryan. See y'all later.
Bye.